Samantha Reeves stared out the viewport of her private quarters on the space station. Earth looked peaceful from up here, a blue marble suspended in the darkness of space. The same could not be said for the rest of the solar system. The massive, alien ships had appeared 3 weeks ago, establishing positions around key planets and moons. They had not fired a single shot, but their message was clear: surrender or be destroyed. She turned away from the view and focused on the holographic display showing the message that had arrived yesterday. To the leaders of Earth, the Galactic Hegemony extends greetings and an invitation to discuss your species' peaceful integration into our prosperous union of worlds. A diplomatic envoy is requested within 7 Earth days. Coordinates for safe passage through our defensive line are included. The message was signed by Admiral Zorthal, Supreme Commander of the Hegemony's 12th Fleet. Samantha closed the display with a flick of her wrist. She knew why she had been summoned to this meeting. After 15 years as one of Earth's most efficient, covert operatives, she recognized a summons to duty when she saw one. The door slid open and 5 people entered. Samantha recognized all of them. The highest-ranking members of Earth's United Security Council, General Laura Bennett, the head of Earth's combined military forces, nodded at her. "Ms. Reeves, thank you for coming on such short notice," said Bennett. "When the Security Council calls, I answer," Samantha replied, her voice steady and professional. Few people knew that behind her diplomatic upbringing lay the training and experience of a lethal operative with 37 confirmed eliminations of threats to Earth's security. Council Chairman Richard Powell, a stern man with silver hair, took the lead. "You've seen the message. The hegemony wants to talk." "And you believe them?" Samantha asked. Powell exchanged glances with the others before answering. "No. Our intelligence suggests this is a standard hegemony tactic. They invite diplomacy while preparing for conquest." Colonel Frank Miller, head of military intelligence, pulled up several holographic images showing various alien species in subjugation poses before hegemony forces. 6 other civilizations in nearby sectors have fallen to the hegemony in the past 20 years, Miller explained. Each time, they invited diplomats to discuss terms while gathering intelligence and identifying key leadership targets. Samantha absorbed the information quickly. "So why send anyone at all?" "Because we need time," Bennett said firmly. "Our fleet is still assembling behind Mars. We need at least 2 more weeks to prepare our defenses. And," added Powell, "we need intelligence. Their ships use technology we've never seen before. Any information you can gather would be invaluable." Now Samantha understood completely. "You want me to go as the diplomat?" "Yes," Powell confirmed. "Your father was Ambassador Reeves. You grew up in diplomatic circles. Your cover is perfect." What went unsaid was her other qualification. If elimination of targets became necessary, few in the galaxy could match her skills. "What's my mission parameter?" Samantha asked. Bennett stepped forward. "Primary objective: buy us time. Secondary: gather intelligence on their capabilities and intentions. Tertiary," she paused, "assess whether elimination of key leadership would delay or prevent an invasion." Samantha nodded. "An assassin in a diplomat suit." "Precisely," Powell said. "We're not asking you to start a war, but if they're planning one anyway, better. They lose their leaders before it begins," Samantha finished. Powell pulled up another holographic display showing 3 people. "Your team, Alan Winters, communications specialist. He can hack almost any system and has implants that allow him to process data streams faster than any computer. Dr. Catherine Hughes, xenobiologist. She'll help you understand their physical weaknesses if it comes to that. And Gregory Martinez, your attaché, former Special Forces. He'll be your security." Samantha studied their faces, committing them to memory. "When do we leave?" "Tomorrow at 600, Bennett replied. "The USS Horizon has been prepared. It's officially a diplomatic vessel, but we've added some modifications." Council member Patricia Ortiz, who had been silent until now, finally spoke. "Ms. Reeves, I want to be clear. We are not asking you to assassinate anyone unless absolutely necessary. If there is any chance of genuine peace, We want to take it. Understood, Samantha said. I was trained to kill, but I was raised by a diplomat. I know how to talk first. Powell dismissed the others and stayed behind with Samantha. When they were alone, he spoke more quietly. There's something else you should know. Some of our deep space listening posts picked up communications suggesting the hegemony isn't unified in their approach to Earth. There may be factions we can exploit. Samantha considered this. Division among their leadership could be useful. Or dangerous, Powell warned. We don't know who holds real power. Be careful who you trust. He handed her a small device. This contains all the intelligence we have on their leadership structure. Memorize it and destroy it. After Powell left, Samantha returned to the viewport. The beautiful blue planet below had no idea how close it was to war. Most of Earth's population had been told the alien ships were simply observing, that diplomatic relations were positive. The panic that would ensue if they knew the truth would be devastating. In her quarters that night, Samantha prepared herself. She reviewed the files on the hegemony leadership, studied their customs and known behaviors. She practiced the formal, diplomatic greetings in their language, her tongue struggling with the unusual sounds. Before sleeping, she opened a hidden compartment in her luggage. Inside were tools of her true profession, a set of ceramic blades that would pass through scanners, several devices disguised as jewelry that could be used as weapons or tools, and a neural disruptor disguised as a diplomatic translator. As she placed the weapons carefully in her diplomatic attire, Samantha thought about her father. Ambassador Reeves had wanted his daughter to follow in his footsteps, to use words instead of weapons to solve problems. He never knew she had been recruited into Earth's shadow services after his death, never knew she had become the very thing he had spent his life opposing. I'm sorry, Dad, she whispered, but sometimes words aren't enough. The next morning, Samantha boarded the USS Horizon dressed in her diplomatic uniform. Captain Daniel Rogers greeted her formally, aware of her dual purpose. The ship was sleek and beautiful, the perfect diplomatic vessel, hiding weapon systems and stealth technology beneath its elegant exterior. As Earth fell away behind them and they approached the hegemony blockade, Samantha met with her team. They would reach the hegemony flagship in 18 hours. 18 hours to prepare for a mission that might save Earth or plunge it into a war it couldn't win. Alan, Catherine, and Gregory gathered around her as she laid out their approach. Remember, she told them, we are diplomats first. Whatever happens, maintain that cover until I say otherwise. As the USS Horizon passed through the blockade of alien ships, Samantha stood at the viewport, watching their massive forms drift by. She looked every inch the dignified diplomat, betraying nothing of the assassin beneath the suit. Earth had sent exactly what the hegemony had requested, a negotiator. They just didn't know what kind. The USS Horizon glided through space toward the massive alien flagship. Samantha stood on the bridge, her face calm despite the tension building inside her. Through the view screen, she could see their destination, a vessel so large it dwarfed anything humans had ever built. The hegemony flagship, named the Immutable Truth according to intelligence reports, stretched nearly 3 miles from end to end. They're hailing us, said Alan from his communication station. Samantha smoothed her formal diplomatic attire. Accept the transmission. The screen flickered and an alien face appeared. The being had gray-blue skin with ridge-like formations running from forehead to neck. Its 4 eyes blinked in an unsettling pattern. Earth vessel, this is Subcommander. Vexlar of the Galactic Hegemony. You will follow the transmitted approach vector precisely. Any deviation will be considered hostile action. Understood, Subcommander, Samantha replied with practiced ease. This is Ambassador Samantha Reeves of Earth. We look forward to productive discussions. The alien gave what might have been a nod, though it looked more like a twitch. Docking will commence in 30 minutes. Prepare your team for inspection. When the transmission ended, Captain Rogers turned to Samantha. Not the friendliest welcome. We didn't expect one, she replied quietly. In her private quarters, Samantha activated her neural implants. The microscopic tech embedded in her brain allowed her to process information faster than normal humans and communicate securely with Earth Command. She reviewed the files on hegemony leadership one last time, focusing on High General Drakmor, who would lead the negotiations. A knock at her door interrupted her thoughts. Gregory entered, his large frame filling the doorway. "The team is ready, Ambassador," he said for the benefit of any listening devices. Then he lowered his voice. "All equipment has passed our internal scans. The hegemony shouldn't detect anything." Samantha nodded. Her diplomatic jewelry contained everything from listening devices to weapons. The neural implants were undetectable by known alien technology, and the rest of her gear was disguised as standard diplomatic equipment. "Remember," she told Gregory, "observe everything. Count troops, note weapon placements, identify species. We need to know exactly what we're facing." The USS Horizon docked with a gentle shudder. Samantha joined her team at the airlock, assuming the posture of a confident diplomat. Catherine adjusted her medical bag, which contained both legitimate medical supplies and tools for analyzing alien biology. Alan appeared nervous, but Samantha knew it was an act. His casual fidgeting allowed him to place microscopic surveillance devices wherever they went. The airlock hissed open, revealing Subcommander Vexillar and 4 armed guards. Samantha took a deep breath and stepped forward. "Welcome aboard the Immutable Truth, Ambassador," Vexillar said. His voice had a metallic quality, processed through a translator. "You will undergo brief security screening before meeting High General Drakmor." The security screening was more thorough than Samantha had expected. The guards used devices that scanned at the molecular level, but as predicted, they were calibrated for known threats. Her specialized equipment remained undetected. As they walked through the massive ship, Samantha's enhanced senses cataloged everything. She noted that the corridors could accommodate beings 3 times human size. The guards carried energy weapons on their right sides, and what appeared to be ceremonial blades on their left. Most importantly, she counted at least 5 different alien species among the crew, suggesting the hegemony was indeed a collection of conquered civilizations. "Your vessel is impressive," Samantha commented to Vexillar, playing her diplomatic role. "How many crew members serve aboard?" 23,000, the alien replied without hesitation. Samantha filed this information away. Earth intelligence had estimated only 15,000. They were led to guest quarters that were clearly designed for various species. The rooms were spacious but sparse, with furniture that could be configured for different body types. "You will rest here for 2 hours, Vexillar informed them. "Then you will be escorted to the reception with High General Drakmor." When the aliens left, Alan immediately began scanning for surveillance devices. He found 17. "Advanced, but not unbeatable," he whispered to Samantha. "I can create a bubble of white noise if we need to talk privately." "Not yet," she replied. "Let them think we're naive." The reception was held in a vast chamber filled with hegemony officials. Samantha recognized several high-ranking officers from her briefing files. They were served food and drink by silent members of a species she didn't recognize. Small, hunched beings with 6 limbs and downcast eyes. "Servants or slaves?" Catherine whispered to her. "Note how they move." Samantha replied quietly. "No restraints, but they're afraid." A hush fell over the chamber as a new figure entered. High General Drakmor was larger than the other aliens, standing nearly 8 feet tall. His skin was a deeper blue, and scars crisscrossed his face and visible arms. Unlike the others, he wore minimal armor, as if confident nothing could harm him. Flanked by guards, he approached Samantha directly. Up close, she could see that one of his 4 eyes was artificial, glowing faintly with internal technology. "Ambassador Reeves," he rumbled, his translator struggling with the deep tones of his voice. "I am pleased Earth has chosen to send a representative. Many species refuse our initial invitation. It rarely ends well for them." Samantha offered the formal greeting she had practiced, a slight bow with hands positioned in a specific gesture. "Hi, General. Earth values dialogue between civilizations. We come seeking understanding." Drakmore's upper eyes narrowed slightly. Understanding. Yes, that is what we offer all species who join the hegemony. Understanding of their place in our order. He gestured to the room around them. You see before you representatives of 23 species who have found their place. Some through wisdom, others through necessity. The threat was thinly veiled, but Samantha maintained her diplomatic smile. Every civilization has its own path, High General. Humans have always valued our independence. For a moment, something like respect flickered across Drakmore's alien features. As did the Trilaxians, before they became our greatest warriors. As did the Vasanti before they became our finest engineers. He leaned closer. All find their proper role eventually. Throughout the reception, Samantha circulated among the alien officials, gathering impressions and information. Alan placed his surveillance devices discreetly, while Catherine engaged several aliens in discussions about biology and medicine. As the event concluded, High General Drakmore approached Samantha again. Tomorrow we begin formal negotiations. Rest well, Ambassador. He paused, studying her with all four eyes. You are not what I expected from Earth. In what way, High General? Samantha asked carefully. Our intelligence suggested humans were emotional, impulsive creatures. You seem controlled. His artificial eye glowed brighter for a moment. I wonder what else our intelligence has misjudged. Back, in their quarters, Alan activated his white noise generator, creating a safe space to talk. They're watching us carefully, Gregory reported. Guards pretending to be servants. At least 3 different security systems that I could identify. Catherine opened her medical scanner. I got readings on 5 different species. Their biology is fascinating, but I also noted something concerning genetic modifications, possibly forced. The servants at the reception show signs of neural tampering. What about you? Gregory asked Samantha. What did you make of the High General? Samantha considered her answer carefully. He's testing us. He knows more about humans than he's letting on. She paused. And I believe he suspects I'm more than a diplomat. Is our cover blown? Alan asked nervously. No, Samantha replied. But we're dealing with a predator who recognizes another predator. Tomorrow's negotiations will be dangerous, not just with words. As the others prepared for sleep, Samantha stood by the viewport, watching the stars. Tomorrow she would enter a room with the leaders of an empire that had conquered dozens of worlds. She would smile and negotiate and play her part. And all the while, she would be calculating how to kill them if necessary. The assassin in the diplomat's suit prepared for war. Morning came artificially aboard the Immutable Truth, with lights brightening gradually in the human quarters. Samantha had been awake for hours, preparing mentally for the negotiations ahead. She wore her most formal diplomatic attire, a tailored, blue suit with Earth symbol subtly embroidered on the collar. Hidden within the outfit were 3 weapons and various tools she hoped she wouldn't need to use. 2 alien guards arrived to escort the Earth delegation to the Grand Council chamber. As they walked through the massive corridors, Samantha noted how the architecture changed, becoming more imposing and decorated with what appeared to be battle trophies from conquered worlds. Are those from different planets? She asked one guard, pointing to a display of unusual objects. The guard's translator crackled. Victory tokens from species that chose resistance, a reminder of the futility of opposing the hegemony. Samantha kept her face neutral while mentally adding this to her growing file of intelligence. The hegemony clearly used intimidation as a psychological tactic. The Grand Council chamber was a circular room with a high domed ceiling covered in moving star maps. In the center was a large round table with seating for various body types. 5 senior hegemony officials were already seated, with High General Drakmore at the head position. His 4 eyes tracked Samantha as she entered. Ambassador Reeves, he rumbled. Please be seated. We are eager to begin discussions of Earth's integration into our empire. Samantha sat across from him, with Catherine and Gregory flanking her. Alan took a position slightly behind where he could monitor communications and deploy his surveillance tech. "Thank you for your hospitality, High General," Samantha began. "Earth is interested in learning more about the hegemony and exploring possibilities for peaceful coexistence." A smaller alien with pale yellow skin hissed through its translator. "Coexistence? There is no coexistence. There is only the hegemony and those who serve it." Drakmor raised a hand for silence. "Commander Vilsec is direct, but not incorrect. The galactic hegemony has brought order to hundreds of worlds. That order requires unity of purpose." "Earth understands unity," Samantha replied smoothly. "Our own planet was once divided into many nations before we joined together, but we did so as equals, maintaining our cultural diversity." "A charming perspective," said a female-appearing alien with silvery scales. "However, the galaxy is not your small world. The strong lead, the others follow. This is the natural order." For the next 3 hours, Samantha engaged in careful verbal sparring with the hegemony officials. She presented Earth's case for independence while expressing interest in trade and cultural exchange. Throughout, her enhanced hearing picked up whispered conversations among the aliens in their native languages. Though she couldn't understand the words, the tones suggested disagreement among them. During a break in the proceedings, Catherine approached Samantha while appearing to show her some documents. "They're not united in their approach," she whispered. The silver one and the tall one with tendrils seemed to oppose Drakmor on something. Samantha nodded slightly. This matched what Earth intelligence had suggested about factions within the hegemony. She could use this. When the negotiations resumed, Samantha directed more of her comments toward those two officials, noting how they responded more positively to mentions of trade and science exchange rather than military matters. "Earth has made significant advances in biological sciences," she told the silver-scaled alien. "Dr. Hughes would be pleased to discuss potential collaborations." This approach seemed to work. The atmosphere in the room shifted slightly, with some officials showing genuine interest in what Earth might offer as a partner rather than a subject. But Drakmor was not easily swayed. "Words of cooperation are pleasant, Ambassador. Yet your species has expanded rapidly into 3 nearby star systems without seeking permission from established galactic authorities." "We did not know such authorities existed," Samantha countered. "Earth only developed faster than light travel 30 years ago." "Ignorance does not excuse trespass," growled the yellow-skinned Vilsec. "Your colonies must be placed under direct hegemony control as a first step of integration." Samantha felt a flash of anger but kept her expression diplomatic. "Those colonies contain millions of human lives. They are non-negotiable." As the session ended for the day, Samantha felt the tension in the room. She had established Earth's position firmly but not provocatively. Still, she sensed that some officials were already thinking of military solutions. After returning to their quarters, the team gathered to share observations. Alan activated his white noise generator again to block surveillance. "I planted devices throughout the chamber," he reported. "Already getting interesting data. They have a fleet positioned near Jupiter, larger than what we knew about." Gregory looked grim. "Their security is increasing around us. 4 guards now instead of 2. They're watching us more closely." "I noticed something in their medical bay when they took me on a tour," Catherine added. "Storage containers with biohazard markings. They might have biological weapons prepared." Samantha processed all this information quickly. "We need more intelligence before making any moves. Tomorrow we'll split up. Catherine, request more medical facility tours. Gregory, express interest in their training facilities. See what weapons they have. Alan, keep planting your devices." "What about you?" Gregory asked. "Drakmor has requested a private meeting. I'll see what he really wants." Later that evening, a message arrived inviting Samantha to the High General's private chambers. She prepared carefully, checking her hidden weapons and activating all her neural implants for maximum alertness. 2 guards escorted her through parts of the ship she hadn't seen before. The military sections were bustling with activity that seemed excessive for a diplomatic mission. Drakmor's chambers were surprisingly austere for the leader of a vast empire. Few decorations adorned the walls except for what appeared to be ancient weapons and a large map of the galaxy with certain sectors highlighted. The High General dismissed his guards and offered Samantha a seat. He poured a blue liquid into 2 cups. "This is safe for human consumption," he said, drinking from 1 cup before handing her the other. "I had our medical staff analyze your biology thoroughly." Samantha accepted the drink but did not consume it. "Thank you for meeting privately. High General, I hope we can speak more openly here." Drakmore's 4 eyes studied her intently. "Indeed. Tell me, Ambassador, what does Earth really want from this encounter?" "Exactly what I stated in the negotiations. Peaceful coexistence, with Earth maintaining its independence." The alien made a sound that might have been a laugh. "And if that is not possible? If the only options are submission or conflict?" Samantha met his gaze steadily. "Humans prefer peace, High General, but we have a long history of fighting when necessary." "Yes," Drakmore said softly. "Your species has remarkable capacity for violence despite your fragile appearance. Our studies of your history show this clearly." He stood and moved to the galactic map. "The hegemony has existed for 12,000 years. Hundreds of species have joined us, willingly or otherwise. None have successfully resisted." Samantha stood as well, moving carefully to keep the alien in view. "There is always a first time for everything." Drakmore turned to her with what appeared to be amusement. "Do you know why I requested you specifically for this private meeting, Ambassador Reeves?" Samantha felt a chill. "I assumed to discuss negotiations away from the others." "Partly," he admitted, "but also because I sense something familiar in you, something I recognize." He stepped closer. "You are not just a diplomat, are you?" The room seemed to freeze as they regarded each other. Predator recognizing predator, just as Samantha had feared. "I am Earth's official representative," she said carefully. "Yes," Drakmore replied. "And I am the hegemony's. But we both serve other purposes as well, don't we?" Before Samantha could respond, an urgent message came through on Drakmore's communications device. His expression changed as he listened. "It seems your attaché Gregory Martinez has been caught accessing restricted data in our weapons control center," he said coldly. "That is not typical diplomatic behavior." Samantha's mind raced. Had Gregory gone off mission? Or was this a trap? "There must be some misunderstanding," she began. Drakmore's posture had changed completely, all pretense of diplomatic courtesy gone. "The misunderstanding, Ambassador, is Earth's belief that it can spy on the hegemony without consequences. Your attaché is being detained for questioning. These negotiations are suspended until we determine the full extent of your diplomatic mission." As guards entered the chamber, Samantha knew the situation had just become much more dangerous. Her cover wasn't completely blown, but it was fraying rapidly. The assassin might need to emerge from behind the diplomat's mask sooner than planned. Samantha was escorted back to the Earth delegation's quarters by 4 armed guards instead of the usual 2. Once inside, she found Alan and Catherine waiting anxiously. "They took Gregory," Catherine said immediately. "What happened?" Samantha activated Alan's white noise generator before speaking. "He was caught accessing restricted data in the weapons center. Either he went off mission or they set him up." She paced the room, thinking quickly. Something isn't right. The timing is too convenient. Alan pulled out a small device. "I received a partial data burst from one of my bugs in the command center before they shut it down. The hegemony sent coded orders to their fleet near Jupiter about 3 hours ago." Samantha's implants helped her process the implications instantly. "The negotiations were never genuine. They've been planning an attack all along." Catherine looked pale. "What about Gregory?" "He's either a victim or a traitor," Samantha said coldly. "We'll know soon enough." She tapped her concealed communicator. "I need to update Earth Command without the hegemony detecting the transmission. Alan, can you create a distraction in their communications network? I can trigger some of my bugs to create interference. It won't last long. 5 minutes is all I need." While Alan worked, Samantha prepared her hidden weapons. The time for pure diplomacy was ending. She checked a small needle-like device hidden in her earring, a potent neurotoxin that would kill most species within seconds. Her belt buckle concealed a monomolecular wire that could cut through almost anything. In her shoe heel was a compact explosive device powerful enough to breach most standard bulkheads. Alan's fingers flew over his device. Ready. Interference will begin in 3, 2, 1. Samantha connected her neural implant to the ship's communication system, using the distraction to mask her signal. She sent a compressed data packet to Earth with all the intelligence they had gathered, and a simple message. Negotiations failing. Attack likely imminent. Request directive. The response came back almost instantly. Fleet in position behind. Mars. Begin protocol midnight if hegemony hostile intent confirmed. Rescue team member if possible without compromising mission. Protocol midnight. The assassination protocol. Earth had decided the hegemony leadership needed to be eliminated before they could launch their attack. Just as the transmission ended, the door to their quarters slid open. Sub-Commander Vexillar entered with 6 heavily armed guards. Ambassador Reeves, he said formally. High General Drakmore requests your presence at an emergency session of the Council. Your team will remain here under guard. Samantha nodded to Catherine and Alan, a silent message to be ready for anything. Of course, Sub-Commander, lead the way. As they walked through the ship, Samantha noticed increased military activity. Troops were moving with purpose and weapon systems were being prepared. The hegemony was mobilizing for war. The Grand Council chamber had changed. Gone were the diplomatic furnishings, replaced by a military command center. Maps of the solar system dominated the displays, with Earth at the center of targeting calculations. 5 hegemony generals stood around the central table, including Drakmore. To Samantha's surprise, Gregory stood with them, unrestrained and looking completely at ease. Ambassador, Drakmore greeted her. Or should I use your other title? The records your colleague has provided suggest you have many names. Gregory smiled at Samantha without a hint of remorse. Sorry about this, Sam. Nothing personal. The hegemony made me a better offer 3 years ago. The betrayal stung, but Samantha had suspected something like this might happen. No operative. Spent 15 years in the field without encountering traitors. How much did they pay you, Gregory? She asked calmly. Enough to live like a king on any world in the Empire, he replied, plus the satisfaction of being on the winning side for once. Drakmore stepped forward. Your attaché has been most helpful. He confirmed what we suspected. Earth sent us not just a diplomat, but an assassin. Samantha maintained her composure. I am Earth's official representative. Yes, you are, Drakmore agreed. And that tells us everything we need to know about your planet's true intentions. He gestured to the tactical displays. Our fleet is already moving against your colonies. Earth itself will follow within days. This is a mistake, Samantha said firmly. Earth wanted peace. Earth sent a killer to peace talks, countered the silver-scaled female alien. You cannot claim peaceful intentions when you bring death to the negotiating table. Samantha looked around the room, assessing her options. 6 generals, Gregory, at least 10 guards. Her chances were slim but not zero. What happens now? She asked. Drakmore studied her with all 4 eyes. Now? Now I offer you a choice, Samantha Reeves. Join us, as your colleague has done. Your skills would be valuable to the hegemony, or remain loyal to Earth and die here knowing your world will fall anyway. Samantha laughed quietly. You know nothing about humans if you think that's a real choice. I know enough, Drakmore replied. I know your species is divided, primitive, and outmatched. Your technology is centuries behind ours. Your military force is insignificant compared to the hegemony armada. As he spoke, Samantha noticed something odd. The general with tendrils, the one Catherine had identified as possibly opposed to Drakmore, was making subtle gestures toward a control panel, and the silver-scaled female was positioning herself away from the others. Internal conflict in the hegemony leadership? Samantha could use that. If we're so insignificant, she said loudly, drawing all attention to her. Why bring an entire fleet to subdue us? Why not simply ask for our surrender? Because your kind never surrenders, snapped The yellow-skinned Vilsec. You fight even when defeat is certain. Exactly, Samantha replied. Remember that when you consider your next move. She slowly reached up as if to adjust her collar, her fingers brushing against the concealed weapon in her earring. At the same moment, the ship's alarms began blaring. What is happening? Demanded Drakmor. An officer rushed in. Hi, General, we've detected energy signatures behind Mars, a human fleet, much larger than our intelligence suggested possible. Confusion erupted in the command center. Samantha used the distraction to make her move. With lightning speed, she extracted the toxin needle and lunged toward Vilsec, who had been the most aggressive advocate for attacking Earth. The needle found its mark in the alien's neck. He collapsed instantly, body convulsing. Guards rushed toward Samantha, but she was already moving. The monomolecular wire sliced through the weapon of the nearest guard. She spun, using his body as a shield as energy weapons fired around her. Stop her, Gregory shouted, drawing his own weapon. Across the room, to Samantha's surprise, the silver-scaled female suddenly attacked one of the other generals, using what appeared to be concealed claws. The tendril-bearing general smashed his fist into a control panel, plunging the room into momentary darkness. When emergency lighting activated seconds later, the command center had descended into chaos. 3 generals were down. Drakmor roared orders as he fired at both Samantha and the silver-scaled traitor. Samantha kicked Gregory's legs out from under him as he tried to target her. Traitors never prosper, she hissed, slamming his head into the floor. She fought her way toward a control terminal. If she could deactivate the ship's shields, Earth's fleet might be able to target the command center directly. As she worked, Drakmor appeared beside her, his massive form towering over her. Impressive, he growled. But futile. Samantha prepared for death. But instead of attacking, Drakmor fired past her, killing 2 of his own guards. We don't have much time, he said urgently. If you truly want to save Earth, come with me now. The assassin in the diplomat suit faced the most difficult decision of her career: trust an enemy or die fighting. For 3 heartbeats, Samantha stared at Drakmor, weighing her options. The command center was in chaos around them. Dead and wounded aliens lay scattered across the floor. Alarms blared as the ship's systems registered both internal and external threats. Why should I trust you? She demanded. Because we share an enemy, Drakmor replied urgently. Admiral Zorthal plans to destroy Earth completely, not just conquer it. I oppose this waste. A nearby explosion rocked the ship. The silver-scaled female alien fought her way to them, her claws dripping with blue blood. The Admiral has activated the self-destruct sequence, she hissed, and sent the attack order to the fleet. We have 20 minutes at most. Samantha made her decision. Where are my team members? If they live, they will be in the detention block, Drakmor said. We must move now. They fought their way through corridors filled with confused troops. Some followed Drakmor without question. Others, loyal to Admiral Zorthal, tried to stop them. Samantha used every weapon and fighting technique in her arsenal, surprising even her alien allies with her efficiency. For such a small species, you are remarkably deadly, the silver-scaled alien commented after Samantha dispatched 3 guards in quick succession. We're full of surprises, Samantha replied, retrieving her monomolecular wire. They reached the detention block and found Alan unconscious but alive. Catherine was treating his wounds with supplies from her medical bag. Samantha! Catherine gasped, reaching for a makeshift weapon. Behind you! They're with us, Samantha explained quickly. The hegemony is divided. These 2 oppose the attack, on Earth. Catherine looked skeptical but nodded. Alan hacked their system before they caught us. He triggered something in their engines before they knocked him out. Smart human, Drakmor rumbled. He disabled our primary drive, but the secondary systems are still operational, and the weapons remain online. Samantha helped Alan to his feet as he regained consciousness. Can you hack their communications? We need to stop that attack order. Alan blinked groggily. Maybe. I need access to their main communication array. The command tower, said the silver-scaled alien, but Admiral Zorthal will be there, heavily guarded. Drakmor handed Samantha what appeared to be a hegemony weapon. Then that is where we must go. As they moved through the massive ship, Samantha activated her neural implant, sending a compressed message to Earth. Possible allies within hegemony. Fleet should target only ships that open fire, attempting to stop attack from within flagship. The response came back immediately. Understood. Fleet holding position. You have 15 minutes. Before we must engage. They encountered heavy resistance as they approached the command tower. Loyal troops had established defensive positions in the wide corridor leading to the main elevator. We need a distraction, Samantha said, eyeing the enemy position. Drakmor nodded to his tentacled ally. General Vexnar, take your loyal soldiers and attack from the maintenance shaft. We will advance when they divide their attention. As the aliens moved into position, Catherine pulled Samantha aside. Can we really trust them? What if this is an elaborate trap? It might be, Samantha admitted, but right now, they're our best chance to stop a war, and if they betray us, she patted her remaining weapons. I still have options. The distraction worked perfectly. When General Vexnar attacked from behind, Samantha's group charged forward. The combined assault overwhelmed the defenders, allowing them to reach the main elevator. As they ascended toward the command tower, Drakmor explained the situation. The hegemony has existed for millennia because we bring order, not destruction. Some, like Zorthal, have forgotten this. They see only conquest. Why does he hate Earth so much? Alan asked, still working on his hacking device. Your explorers once discovered a moon in Sector 7, the silver-scaled general replied. They established a research base there, not knowing it was a sacred site to Zorthal's species. When they refused to leave, conflict arose. 17 of his clan died. Samantha remembered the incident from her briefing files. The Jupiter Moon expedition. We thought they encountered hostile aliens and defended themselves. Both sides believed they were right, Drakmor said. Now Zorthal seeks vengeance against your entire world. The elevator opened directly into the command tower, a vast chamber with view screens showing both the Earth fleet and the advancing hegemony armada. Admiral Zorthal stood at the center, surrounded by loyal officers. Unlike the other aliens, Zorthal was smaller, with 6 eyes arranged in a circle around a central mouth. When he saw the intruders, those eyes widened in fury. Traitors, he shrieked. You ally with these primitives against your own kind. We stand against genocide, Drakmor replied. The human world will not be destroyed while I live. Then you will not live much longer, Zorthal hissed. He pressed a control on his uniform, and energy shields sprang up, separating the combatants. Gunfire erupted throughout the command tower. Samantha pushed Catherine and Alan behind a console for protection, while she took careful aim at enemy officers. I need to reach that communication array, Alan shouted over the noise, pointing to a station across the room. Cover us, Samantha yelled to Drakmor. When the alien general laid down suppressive fire, she grabbed Alan and made a dash for the array. They were halfway there when Gregory stepped out from behind a column, weapon aimed directly at Samantha's heart. Still playing the hero, Sam? He sneered. You should have taken the deal when you had the chance. Samantha didn't slow down. Instead, she threw her last hidden weapon, a small disc that expanded into a razor-sharp projectile. It caught Gregory in the shoulder, spinning him around. Before he could recover, Samantha was on him. They struggled briefly before she slammed his head against the floor. This time he didn't get up. Go, she told Alan, who raced to the communication array and began working furiously. Across the room, Drakmor and Zorthal were engaged in personal combat. The Admiral was faster than his size suggested, avoiding Drakmor's powerful blows while landing precise strikes of his own. Samantha fought her way toward them, eliminating Zorthal's guards one by one. She reached the dueling leaders just as Zorthal knocked Drakmor to the ground and prepared a killing blow. Without hesitation, Samantha leaped onto the Admiral's back, wrapping her monomolecular wire around his arm. The wire cut deep, causing Zorthal to howl in pain. He flung her off, but the distraction allowed Drakmor to regain his feet. Together, human and alien faced the Admiral. Zorthal, realizing he was outmatched, back toward a control panel. "If I die, your world dies with me," he threatened, reaching for what Samantha recognized as a final attack command. Three things happened at once. Samantha threw herself forward, knife drawn. Drakmor fired his energy weapon, and Alan shouted, "Communications disabled." Zorthal fell, Samantha's knife in his chest and a burning hole from Drakmor's weapon in his center. His 6 eyes dimmed as he whispered, "The sacred moon will be avenged." "It's done," Alan called from the communication array. "I've sent stand-down orders to all hegemony ships, and I've transmitted everything, the Admiral's plans, the resistance of other generals, all of it, to both fleets." View screens showed the hegemony vessels halting their advance. On another screen, Earth's fleet held position, weapons ready but not firing. Samantha helped Drakmor to his feet. "What happens now, High General?" "Now," he said wearily. "Now we truly negotiate. With the Admiral dead and his plans exposed, the war faction has lost power. Those of us who believe in true diplomacy will take control." "And Earth?" Catherine asked, joining them. "Earth will remain independent," the silver-scaled general declared, "but perhaps as an ally rather than a subject." Hours later, after the wounded had been treated and emergency repairs started on the damaged flagship, Samantha stood in a quiet observation room with Drakmor, watching as Earth communications vessels arrived to begin true diplomatic talks. "You are an unusual species," Drakmor commented. "You sent an assassin to a peace conference, yet may have achieved peace through that very action." "Humans are full of contradictions," Samantha replied. "We want peace, but we'll fight fiercely to protect what's ours." "A quality the hegemony can respect," Drakmor said. "Perhaps even learn from." As shuttles docked bringing real diplomats from Earth, Samantha removed her diplomatic insignia. Her mission was complete. The assassin in the diplomat suit had prevented a war not by killing all her enemies, but by finding allies among them. Earth would join the galactic community on its own terms, and Samantha Reeves would return to the shadows ready for the next mission when humanity needed her unique skills again.